r/datingoverforty. Octalaunch says, men, would you be open to her bringing a bag of assorted sex toys over? I 45 female, have been dating M52 for 6 weeks. Everything is going good. Sex is a bit boring for me. So last night, after he fell asleep, I ordered a sexy outfit, some bondage items and sex toys. I want to bring all this stuff out next time we are spending the night together and ask him what he thinks. I'm really turned on by this idea, but not sure if it is a good idea or not. Thank you in advance. Nozzy Parker says, oof. Ask him first. Don't surprise someone with that stuff without a conversation. And find a nice way to say you want to introduce new things, don't say out of boredom. But also, 6 weeks in, and you're bored already? Not a great sign. Bondi Bizach says, yep, total contradiction here. Everything is going good and sex is a bit boring. Even if you'd been together years, those two statements contradict each other. But after 6 weeks, something is very wrong. Mjuk Plister says, this, also does he have Ed? If he does, even a bitter dildo needs to be introduced with diplomacy. Noala Goth says, you have a conversation first. If the sex is already as vanilla as it could be, showing up with a bag of bondage gear is not only intimidating as hell, but it can also be pretty dangerous for the assorted. These are definitely things that you discuss first. Power Ed Bipinat says, consent is really sexy. Ask him first. Don't surprise him. Deeth Bidajiling says, it seems that the art of conversation is dying. Yao Never Sholden says, have you already had the what are you into? Convo or not? Misty Rio says, JFC, don't spring that on him. Imagine a role reversal and a dude did that. FFS. Lalabijao says, the first 3 rules of BDSM are safe, sane, and consensual. You need to learn a lot. Don't just go springing this on anyone. A Sanskrita says, introduce it with a convo, one piece at a time. Buy all that stuff for you if you want, but don't spring it on him all at once. If you're walking into BDSM territory, you'll want to negotiate a scene in advance. Restraining someone takes a lot of trust, that you can trust someone's no. I get that some people walk into that with wild abandon, but if he was that kind of guy, you'd know it by now. And speaking from experience, some of those encounters can end up quite explosive if you are not prepared for inevitably hitting some deep emotional triggers. Plus, I just think it's more fun to draw these things out and build them up over time. r/datingoverforty. Spiritual handle 558 says, boyfriend, 38, crossed my boundary with his last ex. I've gone silent, is that okay? This isn't my first post about this guy. We have been exclusive for almost 9 months. First issue was that he won't add me on Facebook and blocked me when questioned, which still has not been resolved. His reason was he doesn't want drama over other women. His ex is on there and others apparently. He was seeing her just 3 months before him, and I met and kept a friendship with her. Let me start by saying I'm a very fair person, but have boundaries about exes. After the 4th time I saw her name pop up while he was at my home, I had a polite but stern conversation that I'm not okay with my boyfriend having an emotional connection with his ex. He has said things like he doesn't want to hurt her feelings by cutting her off before, but agreed to stop talking to her. Fast forward a month later, him and I just finished sex and her name is coming up as an incoming call again for the 5th time. It crushes me to CBC. It means he never had the talk and doesn't care about my boundary. We argue. He says they have a closer connection. BC, she also has kids and can relate now, she's like a sister. And I'm overreacting. BC, it was just a call and he can't help she calls. Next day I decide to look this girl up on Instagram and see on her public profile a distinct photo she posted taken on his property. Meaning he sent the exact same photo to her and me 3 AM same night. Crushed. I felt sick. When we tried to communicate about this issue, he is horrible, tells me to get over it, and BC I keep causing drama and endless attacks, we are not compatible. So after a toxic text exchange I decide to go silent. Now he messages me every day that he misses me, loves me, and is trying to meet up again. When someone repeatedly stomps on your boundaries, is it okay to ghost, ignore? My mental health has tanked. Miss O'Shea says, boundaries are things we set for ourselves, not for others, which means that we are in charge of enforcing our own boundaries, not setting rules for others. So if your boundary is that you don't want to date someone who is emotionally connected to his ex, it is up to you to enforce that boundary, and you do that by walking away. I personally think that a relationship of nearly a year deserves a formal ending, but after that, you can block and ignore. Traditional Truck 348 says, when someone repeatedly stomps on your boundaries, is it okay to ghost, ignore? You break up. Tell him and move on. Don't respond. Dated a guy just like this. He said the same things to me about not being compatible and dramatic when it came to his shady social media and ex contact. As people said 26 days ago, he's not committed to you. Things are not over with his ex. He definitely still has feelings there. Not wanting to hurt her feelings is all you need to know. He values her feelings over yours. Boy, bye. I am Zyme says, he sounds more like 18 than 38. Often Old Republic says, you break up. Tell him and move on. Don't respond. Exactly this. Ghosting is not cool. Frenchicky says, go silent? I'd just end it. That sounds like so much drama and baggage I wouldn't care to get involved with. Scarabidman says, I had an experience with someone I dated for a year, and in the end it turned out I was being monkey branched for the back half of our relationship. I had caught her chatting with her old FWB, but I allowed her the space and opportunity to correct it once I pointed it out, and how that was kinda sketchy. She said she would. Yeah, that didn't work out. She left me a few months later and started jumping back into bed with this guy. She'd get lonely / want attention and randomly message me very low effort stuff like hey. Ultimately she was breadcrumbing me to attempt to keep me around. Yeah, no, later alligator. Even though I was madly in love with her, I realized I was madly in love with an idealized version of her that never really existed. The love talk and plans of future marriage were all tainted. She was LARPing being in a loving relationship with me. I had to block her on all fronts. Too long, didn't read, pay attention to what he does, not what he says. r/datingoverforty. Stillerise 514 says, help me with the right words to tell someone that I'm not interested and please leave me alone. A few weeks ago I was at the bar of a restaurant getting a drink with my boyfriend. A guy sat down next to me and said something to me. I was polite and answered him. Then I turned my back completely to him and kept talking to my BF. I'm super non-confrontational, especially being a woman in public, when a man tries to engage with me. My BF texted me that the guy was staring at me very creepily. He did it by text so that the guy won't hear him say it to me, keeping it non-confrontational, and I could hear the guy talking to me, trying to get me to engage with him again. Then he tapped me on the shoulder and asked me something. I replied politely again and turned back to my BF. The guy continued to be creepy and my BF was getting angry, and I told him I was used to this and was just ignoring the guy, so he should do the same. Finally I paid the bill and we got ready to leave, and creeper guy leaned over to tell me I shouldn't have paid and that my BF wasn't worth it, and my BF finally said something to him and then we just left. I would have said something to the bartender, but I think the guy knew him, so I didn't think it would do any good. I'm going to the same restaurant tonight and want to be prepared with the right words to tell this guy to leave me the F alone in case I encounter him again. What can I say to be firm with this guy? He clearly didn't care that I was with my BF, so that makes me worried that he won't listen or will escalate the situation if I'm anything other than. Top Knot 78 says, the right words are, bartender, this man here has been asked to leave me alone and he continues to harass me. Brian Kmoto says, /carrot /carrot and if he's friends with /knows the bartender, saying it anyway will at least announce that you're being harassed that way. When you call the GM or owner about it the next day, you can reference the bartender you spoke to and the situation. The alternative would be not going there anymore, but maybe the restaurant needs a chance to do something about banning the guy. Gathicliver Muppet says, stop being nice to someone when you're telling them to frick off. Period. It's one thing when you're a woman alone, but you were with your BF in a public setting. That is the time to use your loud voice and angry tone. Embarrass him. He doesn't give a frick about your feelings. Stop caring about his. Tripodthasipurkut says, you said it yourself, leave me the frick alone or you report him for harassment. Milliseconds. Creant says, I'm here to enjoy time alone / with my boyfriend / with friends. Please excuse me. Followed by slightly louder, please stop interrupting me. I'm not interested in talking with you, followed by a loud enough for people to hear I've told you I'm not interested. I've asked you politely to stop bothering me. Leave me the frick alone. Swingsad27 says, please go away and stop bothering me, those are the right words. If he keeps trying, talk to the manager and get him tossed. Nick 54321 says, when you go and ask to speak to the manager straight away and tell them that a creep was harassing you last time you were in the restaurant and you're anxious they might do the same again. Ask if you can give a heads up to the wait / bar staff if he hassles you again so that they can deal with it. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.